All right, let's talk about this new acronym that's probably been popping up in your feed. GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. If you're hearing this and thinking, oh great, another thing I'm already behind on, well, you're definitely not alone. It's causing a ton of confusion out there. And yeah, this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That feeling of, is this just SEO with a new paint job? That's the #1 question we're all asking. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going to clear things up and hopefully give you the confidence to just get started.
Okay, first up, the new AI search reality. We need to talk about why GOTC is suddenly so incredibly important, like right now.
You know, the way we all find information, it's just completely different now. We are moving away from that old world of just a list of blue links, and we're diving headfirst into a world of these synthesized AI answers. So that means ranking #1 on Google, it's not the end-all be-all anymore, not by a long shot. The real prize now is getting your brand, your expertise, cited directly inside that AI response. That is the new trust signal, the new gold standard. And honestly, getting a handle on this early, it's a massive, massive advantage.
All right, section 2. Let's get right into the big debate, Geo versus SEO. It's time to bust this myth once and for all that this is just, a simple rebrand.
So, I want you to take a second and be honest with yourself. Are you kind of stuck in that old school way of thinking? Do you still believe that ranking for keywords is the only thing that really matters? When you hear optimization, does your brain immediately jump to meta tags and crawlers? Is your main goal still just to get that click, or is it for your brand to be the one the AI actually quotes? If you found yourself nodding yes to any of that, hey, no judgment, but it's probably time for a little Geo reboot.
Look, the difference here is it's fundamental. It's huge. With old school SEO, what was the goal? Get clicks, drive traffic to your site, simple. But with Geo, the goal's totally different. It's to be quoted inside the AI's answer. Think about that for a second. The AI itself is your new audience. And that changes how we think about authority. It's not just about links anymore, it's about EEAT. That's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. It's all about proving you're credible so you show up inside the answer, not just next to it.
Okay, I absolutely love this analogy because it just makes everything click. SEO? That was like being the first book on the shelf. Great placement, right? But Geo is about becoming the librarian's favorite. You're the one the AI, the librarian, trusts and quotes first every single time someone comes in with a question. See the difference? It's about becoming the go-to authority.
So, we've covered the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. And the good news here is that getting started is not nearly as complicated as you might think. We've got a super simple 3-step roadmap to get you your first quick win.
Really, it all boils down to this simple loop. Step 1, you see where you stand. You monitor what the AI platforms are actually saying about you right now. Step 2, you take what you've learned and you optimize what the AI wants to see. And step 3, you monitor, tweak, and iterate. Because, and this is super important, this is a continuous cycle. It's all about small adjustments, not some big one-time fix.
Okay, let's zoom in on that second step, optimizing, because this is really where the magic happens. This is the most hands-on part. It means you're creating content that answers the actual questions your audience is asking. No more guessing. It also means using structured data, things like FAQ schema or how-to guides, which is basically like giving the AI a clean, easy-to-read map of your expertise. And of course, you've got to bolster that EEAT we talked about. Add author bios, cite your credentials, make sure your stats are up to date, and link out to other trustworthy sources.
All right, theory is great and all, but let's see how this stuff actually works in the real world. I want to show you an example of this 3-step plan in action, and you'll be amazed at how fast it can work. So, let's meet our mini case study, a small e-commerce brand called Fresh Tech Retail. Now, by all the old school rules, they were doing everything right. Their traditional SEO was solid.
But here was the big problem. Despite all that good classic SEO, AI search engines were either completely ignoring them, or even worse, they were getting things wrong. For example, one AI tool was telling people they had outdated shipping policies. I mean, can you imagine? That's creating negative buzz, actively hurting their reputation, and their old SEO toolkit was totally powerless to fix it. So what did they do? They jumped into action, using these Geo principles. First, they used monitoring to pinpoint exactly where that negative sentiment was coming from. Then, they made some really smart, targeted changes. They updated their FAQ schema so their policies were crystal clear for the AI, they added real customer reviews to build trust, and they clarified their policies with all the up-to-date details.
And get this, the amazing part is the timeline. This didn't take a year.
It didn't even take a whole quarter. They started seeing positive changes in just 3 weeks.
So what happened? Those old negative answers got replaced by positive, accurate citations. They even saw a real uptick in customer inquiries that they could trace right back to these AI-generated recommendations. The key learning here is huge. In the world of Geo, it's all about monitoring and making fast, targeted tweaks. That is how you win. Okay, so you've seen the why, the what, and the how. Let's wrap this up by talking about your first steps to win, and maybe more importantly, the common pitfalls to avoid so you don't waste your time. The number one single biggest pitfall for beginners, it's falling back on those old, comfy SEO habits like keyword stuffing. AIs don't want that. They value clarity and originality above all else. So here's the mantra. Don't write for robots. Write clear, credible answers for humans that robots can easily understand.
And here are a few other common mistakes to watch out for. Skipping schema or structured data? That basically makes you invisible to AIs. Having zero authority signals? That means you have zero credibility in their eyes. Focusing only on Google? You're missing out on a whole universe of other platforms, like ChatGPT and Perplexity. And please, remember this. Geo is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. You have to keep iterating.
So, to bring it all home, what are the key takeaways? First, think of Geo as your voice inside the AI's conversation with the world. Second, start small. Seriously, just monitor, optimize one little thing, and tweak. And finally, progress is way more important than perfection. Just get started. And I'll leave you with one final question to think about. In this new era of AI search, you really have a choice to make. Is your brand just going to be another link on a page, waiting and hoping for a click? Or is it going to become the answer itself?